children, welcome to Rama's Arizona, and today we are going to study a different chapter from your book, from class 12's book, Flamingo. And the name of the chapter is The Lost Spring. Dear student, today we are going to study a new chapter from your Flamingo book, and the chapter's name is Lost Spring, The Stories of Stolen Childhood by Anis Chang. Before starting this chapter, let's know a little about Anis Chang. And she was born in 1964 in Raurkela, and she is an Indian woman author, journalist, and columnist. She belongs to an aristocratic family of poets. Her most noted work is Unveiling India, which was published in 1987 and was a detailed chronicle of the lives of women in India. So basically, she has written on the subjects of social importance. Even in this chapter, she is going to describe about the problems, about the lives, and how the children who are engaged into the work of child labor are living and are far, far, far away from this progressive world. So let's start this chapter. Here, first, it is important to know the theme of the chapter. The chapter highlights the problems associated with the life of poor children engaged in the work as child laborers. This chapter is all about describing the lives of poor children. It explores various reasons behind this problem in society. The chapter penetrates deep into the failure of society and administration, leading to pitiful conditions of child laborers. Somewhere around the society, even we, the members of the society, our social system, the social structure, and the mindset of the persons are responsible that the children are here not studying, but some of them are far away from good life and they are working as child laborers. So, this is the chapter of the theme. It highlights the problem associated with the lives of child laborers. It explores various reasons behind this and what are the reasons in society. It is going to explore this also. The title. The title Lost Spring, The Stories of Stolen Childhood is very apt and justified. Lost means something that you have lost, something that has been moved away from you, something that you have lost, कोई चीज जो आपकी खो गई हो उसे हम lost कहते हैं. And what is a spring? A spring is basically a season. uh, Among the other seasons, the spring is considered the most beautiful, the most charming, the most joyful season of the all. In spring, if we notice all around, there is beauty, greenery, a lot of joy we notice all around. So, in this way, in a human's life, we can feel that childhood is indeed the spring of one's life because in childhood, the child is joyful, the child is quite carefree. The child is full of life, full of spirit, full of energy, and full of hopes and aspirations. So basically, childhood can be compared as the spring of one's life. Now, since the chapter is describing stories of two children who are engaged into the work of child labor and they are deprived of the basic necessities of their life, they're not living their life with quality. So it seems that at young age, at a tender age, when they are supposed to go to school, learn, study, and grow with joy, so they are deprived of all these things. So it seems that they have lost the spring of life, they have lost the childhood of their life because of their work as child laborers. So childhood can be considered as a spring of life. Children who are engaged as child labor often lose their happiness. They often lose their joy. They often lose their opportunity to learn and grow, and it seems that they have lost the spring. Spring means the most joyful phase of their life. So, in this way, the title is quite indicative of the content. That when we read the title, we get an idea that we are going to study about something valuable, something that has been lost, and something that is as good as the spring and that has been lost. So childhood is as good, as joyful as the spring, and because of the child labor, because of the hard work, the children, seem to be losing their spring of their life, their childhood of their life, the happiness from their life. Moving on to The next part, let's come to know who are the characters. There is a central character. The name of the character is Saheb. He is a poor child. He is a child. He is a poor child, and he does the work of rag picking. Saheb basically belongs to Bangladesh. Saheb belongs to Dhaka. Dhaka is in Bangladesh. His family left Dhaka in 1971, and the reason why they left their homeland because of many storms which swept away their fields and homes, and they had nothing to survive on. They have nothing to lead on their life. So they left their place, they left their homeland, and they came to India. They settled in Simapuri, which is in Delhi. Although it is in Delhi, which is the capital of India, it is boastful of the development, the progressive scenario altogether. But Simapuri is a poor place where poor people live. And in 1971, it was quite a wilderness. It was empty, and these people, these families, a lot of families came from Bangladesh, Dhaka, and they came to India. They came to Delhi. They settled in Simapuri because they found empty place, and they settled over there. Now, writers meet Sahib in her neighborhood. Every morning, the writer sees a young ragpicker boy who visits the garbage dump near her house and searches for gold in it. The writer says that he searches for gold ironically because although the garbage dump is full of useless, thrown away things, still he shuffles it so minutely as if he will get something as precious as gold from it. While searching or picking the rags, Sahib sometimes finds something valuable like a toy or something, so in this way, it is being termed as gold. The boy's name is Sahib. His home in Dhaka was in the middle of lush green fields. They left it many years ago, and he does not remember it anymore. His mother had told him that there were many storms which destroyed their homes and fields, so they left their homeland. The writer again says looking for gold in the big city. Gold here refers to something precious. Gold here refers to something precious which was not available in their hometown. It can be anything like shoes, money, bags, any toy, anything interesting. And for the children, food, clothing, shelter as means of survival. For their parents, it is something else. The boy searches for such precious things in the garbage dumps. And writer, when she found that Sahib is searching, finding something or picking racks, so she made a suggestion to Sahib and she said that Sahib, you should go to school. Sahib tells because I would be going to the school, but I don't go because no school is in my neighborhood. Writer asks, if I build one, will you come? Sahib smiles and says yes. So basically, Sahib says that if there is a school, if you build a school, I will definitely come. Uh, Next, a few days later, Sahib came running to the writer asking for the school. Writer felt very, very embarrassed on him having made a hollow promise to innocent child. Writer knew that she had promised. She has jokingly said that she would be making a school, she would be building a school, but it requires a lot of resources and other things to build a school. It is practically impossible for her at that time, and she jokingly said whatever she said to Sahib, but her words gave him a hope, although it was a false hope. She felt embarrassed that why she played with the emotions of such an innocent child who did not understand that she was not in a position to build school, and she regretted on having made a very hollow means खोखला एक मीनिंगलेस प्रॉमिस उसने किया साहिब के साथ इसका उसे रिग्रेट हुआ अफसोस हुआ. Moving on to the next part. Now there is interesting part. The writer had known Sahib for a few months when she asked him his name. He replied as if he was making an announcement that his name was Sahib A Alam. It was his complete name. The writer thought that the boy did not know the meaning of his name, and if he come to know that his name meant Lord of the Universe, he would not be able to believe it. His name was opposite of his life. He is not lord of even his own life. He is a poor ragpicker. He went around the streets with a group of friends. He was like an army of boys who did not wear any footwear. They appeared in the morning like the morning birds and disappeared at noon. The writer could recognize all of them as she had been seeing them for the past few months. So the here in his name there is irony. His name literally means Lord of the Universe, Sahib Alam, Lord of the Universe, while he is a poor ragpicker living in extreme poverty. Let's move on. The writer observes that Sahib in the morning he comes with the other boys and they also do the work of ragpicking, and they are barefoot boys. It is a group of barefoot boys. The writer had conversation regarding this, and the writer asked one of them that why was he not wearing any footwear. The boy simply replied that his mother did not get them down from the shelf. It was beyond of his reach, and that is why he was not wearing footwear. Another boy who was wearing a different shoe in each foot, and he said that even if his mother would have given him the footwear, he would have thrown it away. He meant that the boy was not wearing footwear because he did not want to wear one. The writer asked the second boy the reason for wearing a different shoe in each foot. He did not reply and shuffled his feet. So in this way, the writer had the conversation regarding why the children were not wearing footwear, and writer made a conclusion that it is not only the lack of money but a tradition to stay barefoot is one example. The writer thought that I wonder if this is only an excuse to explain away a perpetual state of poverty because they are not wearing footwear because they wanted to show that they are extremely poor. They even don't have shoes to wear. Let's move on. A story from Udupi. In this regard, the writer narrates a story told to her by a man from Udupi. Udupi is a place in Karnataka. When a person told that story to the writer when he was a young boy, he would go to his school. On the way, he would cross a temple where his father worked as a priest. He would stop at the temple and pray to God to bless him with a pair of shoes. After 30 years, the writer visited the town and the temple. Now the place was nearly empty. The new priest lived in the backyard of the temple. The plastic chairs are there. A young boy came running. He was wearing grey color shoes, school uniform, socks, and shoes. He had a school bag. The writer wants to convey that after so many years, the financial position of the priest at the temple had improved over these years, and now he could afford shoes for his children. She was reminded of another boy who 30 years ago used to pray for a pair of shoes. So the writer want through this story want to highlight that over the years, over the so many years, things have changed pretty much in so many parts of India, but there are still people struggling with their life, like the rag pickers in her neighborhood who are not even able to afford shoes. Even a present situation, they are not able to afford shoes. Things have not changed everywhere. Some places have gone through a good change, but some places people are struggling today, even today. Now, coming to where these children live, these children and their families live in Seba Puri. Seba Puri is a place in Delhi, and now the writer is describing the condition. The writer describes the area, the location, Seba Puri, where these Ragpickers boys live. Seba Puri, located on the outskirts of Delhi, was very different from the capital of the country. Although it is in Delhi, but it seems that it is far, far away from Delhi. In 1971, when these backpackers had migrated from their own country, the area had been a wasteland. It was completely empty. Simapuri was still a wasteland that time, and but today it's not empty. Around 10,000 backpackers are living in the structures made of mud, with roofs made of tin and sheets of tin plastic material called tarpaulin. There was no sewage, no drainage, or no running water facility. They are living in such condition. They lived in very, very unhygienic condition. It was a piece of wasteland where the garbage of the city was collected, and these people had started living there illegally. And although they don't have any identity, they are not considered Indian citizen, but they have obtained ration card, and with the help of the ration card, they are able to get grains, and they are able to get their names on the voter list. What is the garbage? Garbage for them is uh, uh, a kind of survival for them. For parents, garbage picking means a means of survival, something by which they keep surviving. And for children, it is wrapped in wonder, because when young children they go for egg picking, if they by chance find something useful like a toy, a coin, or anything else, they feel it is full of surprise for children, because they are not mature enough to understand that it is a means of survival for their parents, but for them it is a means of hope, it is a means of surprise. After some time, the writer find that Saheb was going to somewhere, and she asked where she was going. Writer found Saheb on his way to the milk booth. In his hand, he is having a steel canister. He told that he worked at a tea stall, and he was no more working as a rag picker. And he told her that he was getting 800 rupees in all means. One morning the writer met Sahib, who was on his way to the milk booth. He was holding a steel canister. He told her that he had got a job at the nearby tea stall. He would earn 800 rupees. The writer asked him if he liked the job, as she could see that he had lost the careful look, as now Sahib was working for someone else and was carrying his master container. He was burdened with responsibility. Earlier he was a rag picker, and he would carry his own bag. He was master of his own. Now he was no longer his own master. So although uh, Sahib was working as a tea stall, although he was getting much more amount, 800 rupees now, but when his face has lost all the carefree look, when he was a rag picker, the bag, although it was big, but it belonged to him, but now he was working as a servant under somebody else, and he had to follow on the instruction. He had lost his own authority over his work. So in this way Sai was not at all happy working at the tea stall. अगर question में आता है कि was Saib happy, तो Saib was not happy. Reasons we have already gone. Was Saib happy working at tea stall? No, he was not at all happy, because being a rag picker, he had independence. His rag picking bag belonged to him. He was carefree. Working at tea stall, he had to follow instructions given by owner. The steel canister does not belong to him and does seem heavy to him. And rag picking was his, and it was light to him. So he was not at all happy working at the tea stall. So this is all about from this chapter, and I must say that story is all about child labor. I hope you have understood the chapter very well, and I request you all through to make notes of this. And there might be questions like, who is Saheb? What does his name mean? What is the irony? What is the condition of Seba Puri people and how they live? So it's all about, it is one of the important chapter. It has two parts away, and wait for the next part for in the next video. Thank you. Learn and elevate yourself with Rama's edition. Stay alert, stay safe, and keep learning a lot.